The Seamstress and the Twins. The snow fell silently that December night when Maya found them. Two tiny bundles abandoned in a cardboard box behind her building, wrapped in nothing but threadbare blankets. Their cries pierced through the bitter cold, and in that moment the young seamstress's entire world shifted. She was only 23, barely making enough to feed herself by stitching clothes in her cramped studio apartment. But as she looked into those innocent, pleading eyes, she knew there was no other choice. Love doesn't wait for perfect circumstances. It arrives unexpectedly, demanding everything. And Maya gave it willingly. If this story touches your heart, please hit the like button, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to Kindness Pulse for more inspiring stories that remind us of the power of love and compassion. Maya named them Lily and Lucas. The hospital confirmed they were twins, roughly 3 months old, severely malnourished but miraculously alive. The police searched for their parents, but the case went cold. No one came forward. No one claimed them. And so Maya, with her meager savings and a heart full of determination, began the legal process to adopt them. Her friends thought she was foolish. Her landlord threatened eviction when the babies cried through the night. But Maya pressed on, taking on extra sewing work, sleeping only 3 hours a night, surviving on instant noodles so the twins could have formula and diapers. The years passed like chapters in a book written with sacrifice and joy. Maya's fingers bled from endless hours at her sewing machine. Her eyes strained under the single light bulb that illuminated her work. She transformed scraps of fabric into beautiful garments, her reputation growing slowly but steadily. Word spread about the seamstress who could make magic with needle and thread, and gradually her clientele expanded beyond the neighborhood. But success came at a price. Every dress she made, every suit she tailored, was sewn together with the threads of her own dreams deferred. Lily and Lucas grew into bright, beautiful children. At 7 years old, they were inseparable. Lily with her wild imagination and artistic soul, Lucas with his curious mind and protective nature. They knew Maya wasn't their birth mother, but to them, she was everything a mother should be. She was the one who kissed their scraped knees, who stayed up late helping with homework she barely understood, who made their birthdays magical with handmade decorations and cakes baked in their tiny oven. They lived in modest circumstances, but their home overflowed with something money couldn't buy: unconditional love. Then came the day that would change everything. Maya had just opened her first small boutique, a dream realized after 8 years of relentless work. It was modest, just a corner shop in a better neighborhood, but it was hers. She was arranging her latest collection when a man in an expensive suit walked through the door. He was tall, distinguished, with silver threading through his dark hair and eyes that carried the weight of 1,000 regrets. He wasn't there to buy anything. He was there because he'd seen Lily and Lucas playing outside. "Those children," he said, his voice trembling. "How long have you had them?" Maya's instincts flared protectively. "They're my children. I adopted them 7 years ago." The man's face crumpled. His name was Alexander Chen, and he was exactly what the world would call successful. CEO of a tech empire worth millions, his face occasionally gracing business magazines. But none of that mattered as he stood before Maya, tears streaming down his face, and told her a story that shattered her sense of security. 8 years ago, Alexander had been a different man, young, ambitious, and married to a woman who struggled with severe addiction. When she became pregnant with twins, he'd hoped it would change her, save their crumbling marriage. Instead, her addiction worsened. The night the twins were born, she'd disappeared from the hospital with them. Alexander had searched everywhere, hired investigators, filed police reports, but she'd vanished completely. Months later, she was found dead from an overdose in another state. The babies were never with her. The trail went cold. Alexander had spent years searching, never giving up hope, drowning his grief in work until his company exploded in success. And then, by pure chance, he'd recognized them. Lucas had his exact chin, Lily had his mother's eyes before addiction stole her light. He had DNA tests. He had documentation. He had everything except the 8 years he'd lost. Maya felt her world tilting. These children, her children, weren't hers by blood, but they were hers by every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment of love she'd poured into them. The law might side with a biological father, especially one with Alexander's resources. She could lose them. The thought paralyzed her. But Alexander didn't come with demands. He came with grief, gratitude, and a proposition that surprised them both. "You saved them," he said. "You gave them the childhood I couldn't. You're their mother in every way that matters. I'm not here to take them away. I'm here to ask if there's room in their lives for both of us." What followed were months of careful navigation, therapy sessions, family meetings, tears and triumphs. Lily and Lucas were confused at first, even angry, but Alexander approached fatherhood with the same determination he'd brought to building his empire. He didn't try to buy their love or erase Maya's place. Instead, he supported them all, investing in Maya's boutique, which flourished into a successful chain. But more importantly, investing time in becoming the father he'd never had the chance to be. The twins attended better schools, but they never left the small apartment that held their memories. Alexander bought a house nearby, not to take them from Maya, but to be available. Birthday parties became bigger, but no less filled with love. Maya's boutique became a bridge between their two worlds. Alexander wore her designs to business meetings, photographs of her work appearing in magazines, but he always credited the woman who'd saved his children when she didn't have to. If you're feeling inspired by this story of love, second chances, and unconventional family, please like this video, subscribe to Kindness Pulse, and share your own stories of unexpected blessings in the comments below. Your engagement helps us continue sharing these meaningful tales. 5 years later, at Lucas and Lily's 12th birthday party, Maya stood beside Alexander watching their children laugh with friends. It wasn't the life she'd imagined that snowy December night, but it was something more beautiful than she could have dreamed. The seamstress who'd barely survived became a successful businesswoman. The CEO who'd lost everything found redemption. And 2 abandoned babies grew into confident, loving children who understood that family isn't defined by DNA or circumstance. It's built by the people who choose to stay, to sacrifice, to love unconditionally. "Thank you," Alexander said quietly, "for being the mother I couldn't be for them when they needed it most." Maya smiled, tears glistening. "Thank you for not trying to erase me when you had every legal right to." The truth was simple. Love multiplies, it doesn't divide. Maya didn't lose her children when their biological father returned. Their family simply expanded, creating space for more love, more support, more proof that the most profound connections aren't always born from blood. They're sewn together with threads of sacrifice, stitched with patience and wrapped in the kind of love that refuses to give up, even when the world says it's impossible. In the end, Lily and Lucas weren't just lucky to be found. They were blessed to be loved twice over, by 2 people who understood that being a parent isn't about who gave them life, but who taught them how to live it with courage, kindness, and grace.